Hey, what's up, Solutioneers? Welcome back to the vlog. I'm Matt Prindiville, CEO and Chief Solutioneer at Upstream, and today we're going to talk about reuse for on-site dining. And specifically, we're going to get into how disposables don't make any sense. Literally, they don't make any dollars and cents for restaurants and food service operations when people dine in. Then we'll get into what Upstream is doing to help transform the food service sector from a disposable nightmare to a real and reusable future. But I want to start with a story. About 4 years ago, I had the opportunity to speak at the Monterey Bay Aquarium to an audience of sustainability professionals that were working at aquariums across North America. And while I was there, I had a chance to tour their concessions, and I witnessed the complete makeover that the aquarium had done to get rid of all the single-use disposable foodware. Now, the reason that Monterey Bay Aquarium got rid of all the single-use stuff from their concessions was because they realized that they had a plastics problem. When they created their exhibit on plastic pollution, people quickly pointed out that their concessions were full of plastic and they felt like hypocrites. So they got to work and they partnered with their contracted food service provider to not just get the single-use plastic out, but all the other single-use stuff too. And I was blown away by the changes. I mean, all the disposable foodware had been replaced by real plates and cups and cutlery. You had soda fountains and condiments dispensers that replaced single-use products. They had reusable takeout containers for staff who were working down the street at their research facility. They didn't even have disposable coffee stirrers. They had a clean spoons jar and a dirty spoons jar. But even though they'd made all these incredible changes, they hadn't done anything to connect them with the plastic pollution exhibit down the hall. There were no signs or displays or table tents talking about what they had done, why they had done it, and why it was awesome. Similarly, at the same time, at Upstream, we were evaluating data from a project that now Upstreamer Miriam Gordon and Samantha Summer had started with Clean Water Action. You might have heard Rethink Disposable, which is a technical assistance program to help restaurants and other food service businesses shift from single-use to reuse in California. Now, both Miriam and Sam had a theory that these businesses would save money by making the shift, but they didn't have any data. So they also got to work. And our business innovation director, Samantha, who led this project for 6 years, literally worked with hundreds of different food service businesses, everything from food trucks to restaurant chains to huge corporate campuses. And they proved that every single one of these food service operations saved money from shifting from single-use to reuse. Now, later on, after discussing these two stories with my team at Upstream, we had this idea. What if we could partner with food service operations to quantify both the environmental benefits of shifting from single-use to reuse and the cost savings and return on investment from doing this? And what if we could take that data and turn it into marketing content to sell the success stories and inspire more companies to follow suit? And also, what would we need to do this at scale? From our experience, we understood that there were at least 3 big barriers for food service businesses in making the shift to reuse. Number 1, this widespread misconception that single use is cheaper. Number 2, that some businesses may have wanted to make some changes, but they didn't have a standardized way to quantify both the environmental and economic benefits of doing so, really to make the case for doing it and also to market the impact. And number 3, the restaurant industry is fast moving, it's often low margins, and change is hard when you're focused on keeping the business afloat. So we thought, what if we could solve for the first two? What if we could solve for the perception or misperception that single use is cheaper, and also standardize ways to quantify the benefits of shifting to reuse? Would that help overcome the inertia of the change is hard problem? Lastly, we knew how labor intensive and the technical assistance was with restaurants, and we wondered if a software solution would allow faster scaling with the right partners. So we set out to build a software solution with a collaboration and learning platform, and we spent a year building it with input from some of the largest food service companies in the world, and we're in the process of beta testing it at pilot locations. And we'll be launching it later this year, so please stay tuned. We also started thinking about public policy, and we decided to pull together a reuse policy kind of geek squad to create the kinds of policies that could drive disposables out for on-site dining and also help create new infrastructure for takeout and delivery. And we've documented all of these ideas and policies in our Reuse Policy Playbook, which you can find at upstreamsolutions.org. But in order to get these policies considered and passed, we recognized that community groups and activists were the key. So we started tapping into existing zero waste recycling and plastic pollution coalitions and networks in and around cities around the country. Now, many of these groups had passed plastic bag bans or helped their city develop zero waste plans, and they were looking for the next big thing to focus on. So we offered them an opportunity to connect with a new community of groups just like theirs, and to have access to model policies, action toolkits, media and marketing resources, and an online learning platform with bi-monthly meetings for support around getting reuse policies passed and building out community reuse infrastructure. And as I write this, there are now 17 city reuse coalitions and growing throughout the country. Collectively, these coalitions have helped to pass more than 36 ordinances impacting 62 million people across the country. That's having a real impact. If you go to the McDonald's in Berkeley, California, where our disposable free dining ordinance was first passed, you're going to get your Coke in a real cup. You're going to get your fries and burgers served in reusables, and you'll be eating with real cutlery. In our conversations with some of the major fast food chains, they're using the fact that they need to comply with the increasing amount of ordinances that are being passed to develop the numbers, both on the economic and environmental side, to drive this change throughout their companies. And we're helping them figure this out. Given that 30% of customers for fast food chains dine in, hundreds of millions of disposable products could be avoided through these shifts each year in the United States. We believe that through more reuse coalitions getting created, more disposable free dining policies getting passed and other reuse policies, and more big companies using metrics to track the environmental and economic benefits of shifting from single-use to reuse, that we'll be able to disrupt the food service sector and get disposables out for on-site dining across the country. Now, if you're interested in getting involved in a reuse coalition or starting one of your own in your community, head over to upstreamsolutions.org for more information. Lastly, we hope you're enjoying the vlog, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe. See you all next time.